Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're zeroing in on Wolfspeed, a company that's really been making waves in the silicon carbide market.
Absolutely. Silicon carbide is pretty foundational stuff for next-gen power electronics. Think EVs, advanced industrial tech.
Critical areas for sure. But here's the thing, despite being leader there, Wolfspeed has been, well, grappling with ongoing operating losses.
Or that's the core tension, yeah. Big promise, but profitability challenges.
So our mission today is to really unpack their upcoming earnings report. We want to look at Wolfspeed's financial health, what they've been up to recently, and what the analysts are actually expecting.
We'll dig into the key numbers, the bigger picture, and what it all might mean for the stock.
Exactly. And ultimately, try to get a handle on that crucial question for you, our listener. Can Wolfspeed turn that tech leadership into actual sustainable profit, especially with these market headwinds? What will this report tell us?
It's a big one.
Definitely. And if you find this analysis helpful, please do think about subscribing, liking the video, leaving a comment. We genuinely love hearing from you. And if you appreciate the work we do, maybe consider buying us a coffee. Every bit helps us keep these analyses coming.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support.
Oh, and if there's a specific company you want us to look into next time, just drop in the comments below. We definitely use that feedback.
We do.
Okay, let's get into Wolfspeed. So the basics first. When exactly is this report coming out, and what's the general street expectation?
Okay, so the timing. Wolfspeed is expected to report earnings after the market closes on August 27th, 2025. So yeah, definitely a date to circle on your calendar if you're following the stock. Post-market close, August 27th.
Got it. And the numbers. What are analysts predicting?
Well, the consensus estimate for earnings per share, the EPS, for this quarter is sitting at negative $0.72.
Still negative. It's good.
Still negative, yes. But, and this is an important but, it actually reflects a year-over-year improvement of about 19.1%.
Ah, so the loss is shrinking compared to last year.
Exactly. A smaller loss, which, could be seen as a positive sign for their operational progress. It's movement in the right direction, potentially.
Okay. What about revenue? Or any whispers out there?
That's where it gets a bit less clear. The sources we looked at don't explicitly give a consensus revenue figure for this quarter. And there isn't really a widely reported whisper number for EPS doing the rounds either, not this time. Also, Wolfspeed itself, they haven't put out detailed guidance for this quarter. Not for revenue, not for EPS, in their recent filings or press releases.
So kind of tight-lipped going into it.
Seems that way. It's actually been a bit of a pattern for them in previous quarters, too. They tend to let the numbers speak for themselves on report day.
Okay, interesting. So with those upcoming expectations, or lack thereof in some cases, how has Wolfspeed actually performed in the past? Have they surprised analysts before? And crucially, how did the stock react?
Yeah, looking back is useful. Their last 4 quarters give us some context. Generally, they've reported losses, which kind of fits the narrative of a company investing heavily.
Right, spending money to make money, eventually.
Hopefully. But there was a recent positive surprise that definitely got people's attention. Let's see, March 2025, the EPS was negative $0.84. December 2024, it was negative $1.10. So widening loss there.
Okay.
But back in September 2024, they reported an EPS of negative $0.72.
Wait, that's the same number as the current consensus estimate?
Exactly. And back then, that negative $0.72 actually beat the consensus estimate, which was negative $0.82.
Ah.
Yeah, it beat it by 12.2%, a solid 72 cents. So it really raises the question now, can they maybe do that again, or at least meet that negative $0.72 mark, which was previously an outperformance?
That would certainly change the story a bit if they hit that again. What about the stock's reaction after these reports? You mentioned volatility.
Oh, definitely. The sources are pretty clear. Wolfspeed stock historically shows elevated volatility around earnings, big swings. Sometimes the actual move after earnings has been way different from what the options market was pricing in. You see notable gaps, sometimes reversals.
So unpredictable.
Very. The market reacts strongly, but not always logically, you could say. It's certainly not a stock for the faint of heart around earnings day.
Good to know. And what about the underlying metrics, like margins? You mentioned heavy investment.
Right. So key trends. We've seen both gross margin and operating income facing pressure. A lot of that comes down to higher R&D spending. They're pushing the tech envelope, and also really high fixed costs.
Filling out factories.
Exactly. Think about building out those new advanced manufacturing capabilities like their big Mohawk Valley facility. That costs a lot up front.
Classic growth pains for manufacturer.
It is. It's typical for companies in these big industry transitions, especially capital-intensive ones. So while the EPS trend shows that gradual year-over-year improvement we mentioned, it's still negative overall. That path to profitability is still, a work in progress.
Okay, so that September beat looks even more interesting now. Was there anything specific driving that, or was it just better execution overall? And thinking about this past quarter, what else has been going on besides the numbers? Any big news or broader trends affecting them?
Yeah, good question. Beyond the financials, the operational context is key. One potentially significant piece of news dropped on August 5th, 2025. Wolfspeed announced they appointed Brett, who's described as a semiconductor industry veteran, to a key leadership role.
Ah, new blood at the top, or maybe in a critical division.
Seems like it. And new leadership, especially someone with a track record, can signal strategic shifts. Maybe a stronger focus on execution, cost control.
Things they need, given the margin pressure.
Precisely. His expertise, particularly if it's in scaling complex manufacturing, could be really crucial for tackling those high fixed costs and getting those new fabs running efficiently. That could be a game changer if it works out.
Okay, that's definitely something to watch. What else?
Well, they've continued to really push their leadership in silicon carbide adoption, especially for EVs and those industrial power modules.
As their core market.
Their core market, exactly. And it's a high-growth area, no doubt. Their position there, with their advanced materials and devices, that's a fundamental strength.
Yeah.
They're building the infrastructure for future power electronics.
But what about the wider semiconductor world? It's been a bit choppy, hasn't it?
It has. The broader sector and macro trends are definitely a mixed bag. The semi-sector itself is dealing with mixed demand signals. You've got softness in areas like consumer electronics.
Right.
But then you contrast that with continued strong growth in automotive and industrial silicon carbide demand, which is Wolfspeed's sweet spot.
So their niche is strong, but the overall tide isn't necessarily lifting all boats.
That's a good way to put it. It creates a challenging environment. Plus, you have the macroeconomic stuff, higher interest rates, potentially impacting investment and demand, general market uncertainty, maybe some lingering supply chain hiccups.
Always something.
Always something. And analyst commentary reflects this caution, given the ongoing losses and the sector volatility. We didn't see any major upgrades or downgrades flagged right before earnings, though.
So it really is a tightrope walk for them, investing heavily in growth areas while managing costs and navigating a tricky macro environment. Given all that, how's the options market looking? What kind of move is baked in for earnings?
Yeah, that's the question for traders, isn't it? How much of a swing is the market bracing for? As we said, Wolfspeed has a history of high volatility around earnings.
Right.
Options tend to price in pretty significant potential moves. It reflects that high beta nature within the semiconductor space.
So what's the number this time, roughly?
Well, the specific call-put ratio wasn't available in our sources right now, but based on historical patterns. Looking at past straddle pricing and just sector averages for similar high beta semi-stocks. The options market is typically implying move of around, say, plus or minus 10 to 15% for Wolfspeed after earnings.
Wow, 10 to 15% either way. That's substantial.
It really is. It tells you the market expects a significant reaction. It doesn't tell you which way, of course, but it suggests traders are anticipating some fireworks when those numbers hit. It's like a measure of expected shockwaves.
Definitely. Okay, so we have the history, the recent context, the market's expectations for a big move. Let's talk potential outcomes. What's the best case scenario for Wolfspeed here, and the worst? And maybe most importantly, what's the one key metric everyone should be laser focused on?
All right, let's game it out. The bullish case that would likely involve an EPS or revenue surprise to the upside. So maybe a loss that's narrower than that negative narrowed in 72-cent consensus.
Or even better revenue than expected.
Or better revenue, yes. Positive revenue growth would be great. Also key, sequential gross margin expansion. That would show they're getting a better handle on cost and efficiency.
Right, progress on profitability.
Exactly. Or maybe better than feared guidance for the next quarter. Perhaps they announce some new design wins, talk about faster than expected ramps at their fabs, or point to really solid EV demand continuing. Any news about major customer deals or significant cost savings would obviously fuel that bullish case too.
Oh, that's the dream scenario. What about the nightmare?
The bearish case, conversely, would be a wider loss than expected. Maybe cost overruns hit them harder, or there were operational setbacks, delays in production, or customer uptake was just slower than hoped. Weak forward guidance would be a big red flag. especially if it's around their cash burn rate or if gross margins contract further or if they push out their break-even timelines again.
Investors hate delayed profitability promises.
They really do. And any signs that demand in their core auto or industrial markets is maybe flagging, or if new competition is heating up unexpectedly, those would also be serious negatives.
Understood. So amidst all that, what's the single most important metric to watch?
If I had to pick just one, it's absolutely gross margin progression.
Gross margin. Why that one specifically?
Because those ongoing losses have made investors hypersensitive to it. Any sign of sustainable margin improvement is seen as proof that their strategy and investments are starting to pay off. Conversely, any erosion there just raises more questions about when or even if they can reach profitability. It's the core indicator of their operational health and efficiency right now. It really tells you if they're on the right path.
Got it. Gross margin progression, that's the key takeaway metric. Okay, let's try and pull this all together. Summing it up, what's your overall leaning on Wolfspeed heading into this report? And what should listeners be thinking about if they're considering a position or a trade?
Okay, my overall leaning, I'd have to say it's neutral to slightly bearish.
Okay, why that?
Well, the risk-reward just feels pretty mixed right now. You've got that undeniable long-term potential in silicon carbide, right? The EV growth, the industrial demand.
Yeah.
That's real. But it's weighed down by these persistent losses, the execution challenges of ramping up new fabs, and those broader sector headwinds we talked about.
Yep.
They're in a critical transition phase, and execution risk is high.
Makes sense. If you had to put a number on your confidence in a big upside surprise, like 1 to 10.
Oh, confidence in a high confidence upside surprise.
Yeah.
Probably low, maybe a 4 out of 10.
Only 4.
Yeah. Analysts are still forecasting losses, the sector's volatile, and there aren't, obvious super strong short-term catalysts pointing definitively towards a big beat right now. They're still in that heavy investment and execution phase. It takes time for that to consistently hit the bottom line.
Okay, a cautious stance. So any thoughts on strategy for folks listening?
Sure. Look, if you're a more risk-averse investor, maybe this is one where you just stay on the sidelines through the earnings print, let the dust settle.
Play it safe.
Or if you want some exposure but limited risk, maybe look at option strategies like out-of-the-money spreads. You can express a view, bullish or bearish, but your potential loss is defined up front. Avoids holding the stock itself through that volatility.
And for those with a higher risk tolerance?
For more risk-tolerant investors, well, given that high implied move, a short-term straddle or strangle could potentially pay off if you think the actual move will be even bigger than the 10–15% the market expects. You're betting on volatility itself.
But that's complex.
Oh, absolutely. That's for experienced traders only, high risk involved. Alternatively, an aggressive bull might buy some cheap, deep out-of-the-money calls, speculating on a huge margin beat. But honestly, the chance of losing your entire premium there is very high. It's a lottery ticket kind of trade.
So tread carefully is the message.
Definitely. It's a nuanced situation with significant risk around this report.
Okay, that's a really thorough breakdown of Wolfspeed heading into earnings. We've covered the numbers, the context, what the market's thinking, hopefully giving you, our listener, a solid foundation. And as we wrap up, here's maybe a final thought to chew on. We talked about those conflicting signals in the semiconductor space, some areas weak, but Wolfspeed's core silicon carbide market, especially for EVs, seems strong.
Right.
So how much will Wolfspeed's near-term fate be dictated by those broad economic currents versus their own ability to execute, to ramp up production efficiently and really improve those gross margins we talked about?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Execution versus macro.
It really is. Something to think about as you watch for that report on August 27th. We hope this analysis has given you some valuable insights for your own investment journey. Thanks for tuning in.